I don't know who Angela is, but I might as well get started. So, welcome back, everyone. We haven't had a lesson in a couple of we haven't had a lesson in a couple of weeks. So, I think I'm gonna take it at exactly where we left off, and then we're gonna do a bit of like revision exercises. So, where we left off was at imperfect cadences and more 4-part harmony. And in case you're wondering, yes, my braces are feeling a lot better. Thank you. So, remember that an imperfect cadence can be essentially any single chord followed by chord 5. So far we've done 1-5, 4-5, and once we get introduced to the secondary triads, you can use 2 and 6 in fourth grade theory. And 2-5 as an imperfect cadence does exist. However, 6-5 isn't very common and definitely not recommended to use. So I think I'm going to focus on 2-5. The other reason 6-5 isn't very nice, it's not very common, is because it's in reverse interrupted cadence. Well, we're going to interrupted cadence are the subject of what we're going to later do today in class. But imperfect cadences, recall that 1-5 is one of our imperfect cadences, and you can do it by basically taking your perfect cadences, flipping it around. 4-5 imperfect cadence basically requires every single voice going down to avoid consecutives, and 2-5 is also pretty straightforward. Every single voice steps to its nearest neighbor, except for the bass line, which the bass line always sings the root. But there will be a note in common, which is in all cases it would be the supertonic. So the doubled supertonic in chord 2 becomes the note in common between chord 5 and chord 2. And every single other note would just step to its nearest neighbor. Yes. So couple examples of 2-5 in 4-part vocals. Also, I don't know who Angela is, but could you open your camera so I can see? Okay, no response. But she said, wait a moment. Okay. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, so let me just open up a 4-part vocal style template. Okay. So here we have it. So right. So let's first refresh our memories by doing a 1-5 in C major. 1-5, essentially the opposite of a perfect cadence. So everything just like that. Wait a second, sorry. There's E. Yep, that's a 1-5 in C major. A 4-5 in C major involves every single note going down, except for the bass, since it has to sing the root of both chords. In 4-5, one of the voices will be leaping down a third, like so. And in extended 4-part vocal style, anything of more than a third leap would be too much. Hello. I'm missing. All right. That's a 4-5. Sorry, wrong notes. Yep, that's a 4-5 in C major. And a 2-5, every single note simply goes to its nearest neighbor except for the bass line. Obviously. Okay. There is a note in common between chord 2 and 5. That is usually the supertonic. The general direction of a supertonic of a 2 to 5 imperfect cadence, the general direction is going up if you did it right. And conversely, the general direction of a 1 to 5 imperfect cadence and a 4 to 5 imperfect cadence is generally going down. Unlike, their flip counterparts, especially the 5 to 1 perfect cadence. Meanwhile, the 4 to 5 perfect cadence, notice how each one of these imperfect cadences can be very smoothly followed up by a perfect cadence. So that first one, 1-5-1, 4-5-1, like so. Okay, and then 2-5-1 sounds like this. Whoops. Listen to the effects of these when preceding a perfect cadence with an imperfect cadence. You can't hear this. Oh, no, you can't. You couldn't hear that. Or I don't think you could hear that. Which is, I'm gonna quickly switch. Okay, and yeah, let's try this again. Can you hear this? No. Okay. There is a problem going on with the display system. Now? Oops. I'm gonna try and don't know. There's something wrong with that's why. I suppose. Something that's I think I'm going to, can you hear this now? Okay, no, I know how to fix this.
Okay, can you hear this now? Okay. That's curious. Okay, you know what? No, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to but what I was trying to show you was that it orally it sounds nice. But you couldn't hear it. But it sounds very nice orally, preceding a perfect cadence with an imperfect cadence. 1-5-1, 4-5-1, or 2-5-1. And any of their first inversion counterparts also sound good as well. For example, 1B-5-1. Recall that in 1B, in first inversion chords, you usually double the third or the sixth. So first inversion in C major, like that, you double either this note or this note, but not this note. Most commonly, the sixth. So yes, let's just. So in first inversion in 4-part vertical style looks like this. And like that. So that's 1651 or 1B51. One in first inversion. One, yeah, 1B51. And you'll be interested to know that 1B to 5 is also a perfectly valid imperfect cadence. And so for that example is 4B5 and 2B5. They're also valid imperfect cadences. And that means that any one of them in first inversion preceding a perfect cadence sounds very nice. And it's actually recommended to precede a perfect cadence in first inversion because recall that first inversion chords from grade 3 are a lot, so that they orally they sound a lot more unstable than root position chords, which means that if you resolve a first inversion onto its root position counterpart or another root position chord, it definitely sounds very nice. So we're going to practice writing some cadences. Firstly, a little bit of a refresher from grade 3 as well. 4 to 1. 1 6 to 5. 1 6 means in first inversion. 4 to 5. And 2 6 to 5. Oops. 2 6 to 5 in let's see. Let's do it in E minor. 4 to 1, 1 6 to 5, 4 to 5, and 2 6 to 5 in E minor. And don't forget that in chord 5, you need to raise the leading note. Oh yeah. So quick something. In grade 4, you do get introduced to so you do get introduced to the secondary triads, which are, the primary triads are 1, 4, and 5. The secondary, therefore, is 2, 3, 6, and 7. But you only use 2 and 6 up until about sixth or fifth grade theory. I think sixth grade theory, and then that sixth grade theory is when you get introduced to 3 and 7. And you still can't really use 7 in conventional methods, but you only get introduced to 2 and 6 because the primary triads are major triads in a major key. The chord 2 and 6, they are minor triads in a minor key. And interestingly, 6 is a major triad in a minor key, and 2 is a diminished triad in a minor key. And for that fact, you are not allowed to use you're not allowed to use chord 2 in a minor key. So in a minor key, you're only allowed to use chord 1, 4, 5, and 6, which severely limits your options. But in major keys, you're allowed to use 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, and that gives an opportunity for some very interesting melodic harmonic lines and a bit of interesting chord planning involved. Because later on in grade 4, you get onto writing. They give you like a 2, 3, or 4 bar melody, and they give you a soprano line, and you have to transform it into 4-part harmony, and that's arguably the hardest part of fourth grade theory. So we're doing a lot of exercises to prepare for that. How are you all going?
The last one.
Okay, cool. 2 6 to 5 is very much like 4 to 5, except there's a slightly different note, and there is a note in common between 2 and 5. So the note in common between 2 and 5 is the supertonic, so always keep that still. And it's interesting because 1, 4, and 5, the primary triads, the doubling rule. So in first inversion for major triads in first inversion in 4/5 vertical style, you would usually double the third or the sixth. But minor triads, which are 2 or 6, so in major keys, 2 is a yeah, in what was I gonna say? Yep. In major keys, 2 is a minor. Yeah. In major keys, 2 is a minor triad, but in minor keys, which is what we're dealing with right now, 2 is a diminished triad. You usually don't come across chord 2 in minor keys in too much, mostly because it is a diminished triad. But they still use it, which is why I want you to get familiarized with chord 2 in a more natural environment. But if it's a minor triad in 4/5 vertical style, you can act in first inversion, you can actually double any note. So basically major triads in 4/5 vertical style, you double the root. Minor triads in 4/5 vertical style, preferably double the root, but you can actually double any note at all. Later on, you also get introduced to the option of doubling the fifth in root position in major triads in 4/5 vertical style. Does that make sense? That was a little yeah. Okay, so first inversion chords work like this. Okay, so firstly, we differentiate between whether the chord we're writing in first inversion is a major triad or a minor triad. Recall that a major triad is a major triad has the distance between its root and third, major third, and its third and fifth, a minor third. And a minor triad has its distance between the root and third, a minor third, and the third and fifth, major third. So let's take C major just for the sake of simplicity. And chord 4 in first inversion. Firstly, in close position, it looked like this. That's what am I doing wrong? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's that right there. That's first inversion of chord 4 in close position. Now, in 4/5 vertical style, that A right there, that goes in the bass. And now you have a choice between, since it's a major triad, you have a choice between doubling either D or F. Let's choose F in this case. You can never double the A. Just first inversion principle, never double the A. We're going to double the F in this case. So it would look like this. Okay, and now let's take chord 2 in C major now. Okay, chord 2 in C major. Whoops. I don't know. Oh, whoops. Right, that's this is chord 2 in C major. It is a minor triad. Now, chord 2 in first inversion in C major looks like this. And that F has to go in the bass. We can put it either there or down there. Probably like, we'll just put it here for now. And now, since chord 2 is a minor triad, you can choose to double any note. Let's go with A in this case. It would look like that. Or if we chose to double D, it could look like this. Or if we choose to double F, yes, you can double the F in minor triads. Here's the thing. Now in major triads, you cannot double the root of a first inversion. So chord 5 in C major is G, B, D. In first inversion, it comes B, D, G. If we put the B in the bass, you cannot double that B. Also because you cannot double a leading note, because leading notes have to resolve to the tonic, and if you had 2 leading notes resolving to the tonic, you have consecutive octaves. Now, consecutive octaves is something to avoid because firstly, consecutive octaves occur when you have two voices, so 2 notes going in the same direction in two identical voices in 2 adjacent chords, singing an octave or a compound octave or a fifth or a compound fifth. Does that make sense? So so this is a consecutive octave that came from doubling the leading note, B to C in both the bass and the soprano. That cannot be allowed, which is why we do not double leading notes in chord 5 ever. How to fix this? I'm doing like a 5B to 1 perfect cadence right now. We make the bass and the soprano move in contrary motion. Now, chord 5 in first inversion has B, D, and G. We can double either D or G. Let's go for G in this case. Okay, it would look like that. And if we went and doubled the D, it would look like this. So you actually have a choice now in which note you double in first inversion. Let's go with another example. Chord 6 in chord 6 is chord 6 in a minor key. Let's do chord 6 in D minor. Now, chord 6 in a minor key is actually a major triad, which means you're only allowed to double chord 3. You're only allowed to double the 3rd and 6th in first inversion. Conversely, in a minor key, chord 1 and 4 are minor triads, while 5 remains a major triad because of the raised leading note. So chord 6 in D minor, in root position firstly. Let's just do it in root position first. B flat, D, and F. I need to put that B flat in. B flat, D, and F. And now in first inversion, it becomes D, F, B flat. Now remember that 6 is a major triad in 6 is a major triad in a minor key. So B flat goes in the bass, and you have the choice of D goes in the bass, and now you have the choice of doubling either F or B flat. Let's go with B flat. B flat, F, and B flat. And now that's chord 6 in a minor key. It's a major triad, so you can only double the 3rd and 6th. chord 6 in a major key is a minor triad. I think I'm going to have to make a list of this for you. So, to visualize this, because I think we really do need something, how should I show this to you? Might as well like draw a table. So, let's see. I'll do it later. Okay, chord 6 in a major key is a minor triad. So let's just take G major. G major chord 6, that would be E, G, B. In first inversion, it becomes G, B, E. Now, G goes in the bass, and since it's a minor triad, we can double any note we want. Let's go with B. Yes. So we double the B, E, B, and B. So it looked like that. If we chose to double the E instead, it would look like this. Or maybe this is doubling the B. If we were double the E, you could make it it could also look like this. If you were to double the G, then etc. Same thing. No, this Michael, this does take some time to understand, but for the time being, let me draw you a table. So, wait a second, I'm gonna share a whiteboard so that I can just bear with me for a second. Okay, I'm just getting it opened right now. Okay, while I'm doing that, recall that why is this not working? Okay, firstly, recall that major triads are, so we use Roman numerals to annotate chords. And so chords, major triads, they're annotated with uppercase Roman numerals, while minor triads are annotated with lowercase Roman numerals. And if I can get this whiteboard to load, I'll show you right now. And if you're interested, diminished triads are marked with like a circle in superscript, just to show that they're augmented. And diminished. And augmented triads have a plus in subscript written above them to indicate that they are augmented intervals. But the last two are not important. What's important that you need to know that minor triads are annotated using lowercase and major triads are annotated using uppercase. And why won't this thing open? Give me some time. My whiteboard is being annoying. And it's not opening. And that is a problem. Come on, open. Hey, why is this opening? It's being annoying. Hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. All right, finally. Microsoft, what? Why isn't my computer responding?
Are you trying to create a whiteboard?
Yeah, I am.
You can like unshare, and then like when you share screen, sometimes there's a whiteboard option.
No, there isn't. There is not a whiteboard option. There we go. Microsoft Whiteboard. And put it on here. Okay, brilliant. So got a whiteboard up. This is taking way too much time. Okay, okay, it's still not coming up. This is driving me bananas. Okay, there we go. Oh, finally. Okay. In okay, it's still not loading. Hurry up. Why don't you load? Okay, finally, it's loaded. Okay, that took way too long. So, the one at the top will be for major keys. So, major keys. Chord 1 is major, chord 2 is minor, chord 3 is let me think. Yep, chord 3 is minor, chord 4 is major, chord 5 is major, chord 6 is minor, and chord 7 is diminished. I should mark that in superscript, but I don't know how to do that. Doesn't matter. Okay. And in a major key, chord 1's major, chord 2's minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is minor, and 7 is diminished. Notice how the primary triads 1, 4, and 5, they are all major triads in a major key. And now, minor keys, a lot more interesting. Now, minor keys. This is for the harmonic minor, which means that you always still have to raise the leading note. Okay, 1 is minor, 2 is diminished. Okay, this is about to get very weird. 3 is augmented. 4 is minor, 5 is major because of the raised leading note. 6 is major, and 7 is minor. So wait a second. Okay, so in minor keys, the pattern is very weird. But like this does give you a handy frame of reference. So in minor triads, so it doesn't matter with the key, it only matters if the triad itself is a major or minor triad. So in a minor key, chord 1 is a minor triad and chord 4 is a minor triad, whereas chord 5 is major and chord 6 is also major. In a major key, chord 1 and 4 and 5 is major, 6 is minor, and 2 is also minor. The reason why they don't let you use minor keys, chord 2 in minor keys up until about 5th or 6th grade theory is because 2 is a diminished triad in a minor key, and that leads to a lot of problems. So you aren't allowed to use chord 2 in minor keys for now, unfortunately, but you still can use 1, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. So major triads in first inversion, you double the third or the sixth. Minor keys in first inversion, you can double any note. Major keys in root position, you double the root and maybe the fifth. In minor keys in root position, you can double any note, and in root position. So a lot of rules. And okay, and in chord 5, never double the leading note. And in chord 6, you have to double the third. So the reason why you double the third is because of the next topic that I want to introduce called interrupted cadences. Okay, right. Okay, back to the doc. Let's hurry up. Computer's being very slow today. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. Still acting up. Right, there we are. Okay. Interrupted cadences instead, so you follow chord 5 by chord 6. So it has very striking similarities to a perfect cadence, except the 1 is replaced with 6. And that creates like a question mark effect because compare this to the perfect cadence, chord 5 to 1, which has like that full stop or resolving effect. Meanwhile, chord 5 to 6 has a question mark effect. And that is because it has a foreign note that does not belong to the chord or the key. And that is the submedian. And that submedian that gets slotted into the that submedian that gets slotted into the cadence in substitute of the dominant gives a very questionable effect to the cadence. So they both end supertonic tonic, but in chord 6 you double the third or you double the tonic. So that means that in C major, chord 6 is A C E A. Chord 6 is A C E. Instead of doubling the A, you conventionally double the C. The reason for that is cadence 5 to 6, very much like cadence 4 to 5, is very easy able to create consecutive cadence. Let me demonstrate. Chord 5 to 6 in C major. Now let's suppose, and by the way, yes, the leading note still has to go to the tonic. I'll put the bass line down here actually. You double the root in 5. And now the reason you don't double the A is because this is a very big leap. Now double the C. Also, if you were to make some oopsie doopsie blunder and you did this, yeah, like that. That's an oopsie doopsie blunder because there are consecutives abound. Oh, sorry, you can't see this anymore. Let me just share it again. Okay, now you can see it. Okay, this is right here. What I've written, that interrupted cadence right there is a blunder because consecutives. bunch of consecutives everywhere. There's a consecutive between the bass and the tenor, consecutive between the bass and the alto. They're everywhere. So what proper way to do imperfect cadence, interrupted cadence in interrupted cadence. So the chord notes of the interrupted cadence, the chord notes of chord 6 in C major is A, C, E, is A, C, and E. You double the C and you put that in the soprano, and then you put the leading note to tonic in the soprano. Yes, the leading note to tonic still exists in the interrupted cadence. And whatever's left, you have to make them step or leap down. And now this interrupted cadence, if you can hear it, it has a very questionable effect. Let me see if I can solve that audio issue. Let's try this. Did you guys hear that? Could you guys hear that? Yeah? No? Not quite. Not quite. Okay. Dang it. That is weird. Let's see what the problem is. Second. Hold up. I'm just gonna
Right, I just did a speaker and audio test. I'm gonna try this again, see if it works. This works. You didn't hear that. Okay, in which case I think we're just gonna have to make do. That's very disappointing. But yes, the interrupted cadence has a very questionable like oral effect to it. Like a sentence that hasn't been completed yet and begs to be completed. The only reason that like question mark effect arises is because of that submedian, which causes all the dissonance. Well, it's not really dissonance, it's more like disharmonic, for lack of a better word. So now interrupted cadence rules. Very important, you always double the third in sixth. You double the tonic. And leading note to tonic still applies, and the other two voices step down. So in interrupted cadence, there's two voices are going up, two voices going down. And now yes. Yeah, and since 6 is a minor triad in a major key, you can choose to double any note. But in an interrupted cadence, always double the third. So now, how much time do we have? Okay, let's do an interrupted cadence in interrupted cadence in G major and E flat major. It's in the chat. the examples still on the screen for you if you want to see it. Interrupted cadence, 2 voices go up, 2 voices go down. As everything we talked about today sort of makes sense. Yeah, so the more important thing I want you guys to understand is the difference between major and minor triads, and which triads are major and which triads are minor in major and minor keys. And that helps because then you know what notes you have to double in those respective triads. By the way, in the exam, if the exam question tells you to write an imperfect cadence, it normally doesn't matter which one you do. But like you don't get deducted marks for like if you're doing an easier one, or given extra marks for doing a harder one. In which case, you might as well go for 1 to 5 because it's the easiest one, and you don't mess up. So it's just more important that you get the marks for the question rather than like over challenging us, like unnecessarily over challenging yourself. So they definitely usually will not specify like what kind of imperfect cadence you have to write. Like, I've never seen a test paper which said write an imperfect cadence 2 to 5, because that just doesn't happen.
Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom a bit before. What are we doing right now?
Oh, interrupted cadences. It's the problems in the chat. Interrupted cadence in G major and E flat major. Okay, Emma, so the only problem I have with that is that the alto and tenor are more than an octave apart. So switch the two voices around. Emma, so wait a second. Wait. Yeah, and also switch the outer antenna around in the second one. Yep. Emma, good job. Let's see. Yeah, we're out of time, so I'll have the rest of you do the imperfect cadences for homework, and I will see you all next time. Good job. Bye. Emma, you're really getting the hang of 4-part vocal style. Good job. Bye. Bye, Michael.